Algebra 1, Section 4-3, Writing Equations. Writing equations in point-slope form. Yikes. Please excuse the messy writing. Okay, writing equations in point-slope form. Point-slope form is this. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1, where x1, y1 is a given point. So let's do an example. So here we're going to do an equation and we're going to graph it too. So I'm given a point that is 3, -2, and my slope, which is 1/4. So let's go ahead and label first x1, y1, and then let's use this equation to plug all of this information in here. So I've got y minus y1, which is -2, equals my slope, which is 1/4, times x minus x1, which is 3. So here I have, once I take care of this minus a negative thing, then I have y plus 2 equals 1/4 times x minus 3. I have written my equation in point-slope form. So that's the first part of this. I wanted to write the equation, and now I want to graph this. So I can graph this in a couple different ways. One way is I can find this point, which is x is 3, 1, 2, 3, and y is -2, 1, 2. There's that point. Three, -2. And then I can use my slope, which is up 1 to the right 4. I can go up 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a point, and then up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can draw my line like that, because the slope is going to be the same everywhere on this line, so I can choose any point on a line to check my slope or to draw the line, whatever, with my slope. Now, I could also change this to slope-intercept form and find my y-intercept and graph it the way we've already learned how to do that. Let's do that real quick. We won't graph it again, but let's just change this to slope-intercept form. We're going to do that again in a little bit, but let's do it with this one. So I'm going to subtract, I'm going to distribute my 1/4 in here first. Y plus 2 equals 1/4 x minus 1/4 times -3 is 3/4. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. Y equals 1/4 x. -3/4 and -2 is going to get me -2 3/4. So -2 3/4 is my y-intercept, and so that'll go here, -1, 2, 3. Here's 2 3/4, just above 3. And so you can see my line would just keep going along there. Then I can go up 1 to the right 4, up 1 to the right 4, just like that. Okay. That's it for that example. Let's do another example. All right, so now I've got -2 for my x value and 1 for my y value at that point. and my slope is -6. So I need to write this in point slope form, and then I need to graph it. All right, first I'm going to label x1, y1. Y minus 1 equals, so I put y1 in there for y1. I'm using this equation here. And my slope is -6 times x minus x1, which is -2. So I just take care of this mess right here. Y minus 1 equals -6 times x plus 2. And there I have done my equation. Now I'm going to graph this. And I'm going to graph it the first way that I graphed this other one, because that's a little bit easier than getting all the way to slope-intercept form. So my point is -2, 1. -2, 1. There's my point. And my slope is -6. So that's -6 over 1. So down 6 to the right 1. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1. Oops, that's not a point right there. And then down 6 again to the right 1. There's my line. There it is. And let's do a U-try. I've got -1, 1, and my slope is 3. Remember, my equation that I'm using is y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. All right, so go ahead and write this in slope-intercept form and graph it. All right, go. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. Y minus y1, oh, let's label first. That was a close one. Y minus y1 equals slope, which is 3, times x minus x1, which is -1. So we clean up that mess. Y minus 1 equals 3 times x plus 1. And there I have my point slope form. And now if I'm going to graph this, it's going to look like this. -1, 1. So that's right there. My slope is 3, so that goes up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. And I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 1. And now I have my line, looks like that. So my slope there is 3 over 1, up 3 to the right 1, or down 3 to the left 1. Okay. One more you try. -3, 5 is my point, and my slope is 1/2. All right, write this in point slope form. Write this in point slope form and graph it. All right, go. All right, welcome back. X1, Y1. I'm going to label first, and then I'm going to say Y minus Y1, which is 5, equals my slope times x minus x1, which is -3. Clean this up. Y minus 5 equals 1/2 times x plus 3. There is my point slope form. And now I'm going to draw a coordinate plane and put my point on here. -3, 5. 1, 2, 3, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -3, 5 is my point. And now I am going to use my slope, which is up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. There's a point. Up 1 to the right 2. There's another point, and my line looks like that. All right, that looks good. Let's keep moving on. So now we're going to take point slope, and then we're going to change it to standard form. All right, so here's your example. we're going to start with point slope form. It's already ready. Y minus 2 equals 4 times x plus 3. Okay, so I want to change this to standard form. Remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. All right, and we don't get to have any fractions. So remember that. No fractions. Okay. So now I need to get my x over here, I need to keep my y over here, and I need to get all the numbers that aren't being multiplied by x or y over here on the right. Before I can do any of that, I've got to distribute this 4. So y minus 2 equals 4x plus 4 times 3, which is 12. Now I can subtract this 4x from both sides. And I've got negative 4x plus y minus 2 equals 12. So I'm almost there. I just have to get this 2 out of here. Negative 4x plus y equals positive 14. Now, here's another issue, and that is that this a is supposed to be positive. So I'm going to write this a needs to be positive up here too. And so, let's see, positive. So what I need to do is my a value here is negative. I'm just going to multiply everything by negative 1. What I do to one side, I do the other. So I end up with 4x minus y equals negative 14. Now I've got standard form. I'm all good to go. Now you try one, and then we'll do another one together that, that is a little bit messier, but we'll do it together, and so hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, so here's the one for you to do. Just make sure you distribute first, and then just what you do to one side, you do to the other, get it to be in standard form. All right, pause and go. All right, let's see how you did. Distribute the 3 first. You got to do that first. Y minus 5 equals 3x minus 3 times 2, which is 6. I'm going to subtract 3x to get that over here onto the left side of the equation. So now I've got negative 3x plus y minus 5 equals negative 6. So those x's go away there. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And so I've got negative 3x plus y equals negative 6, and positive 5 is going to get me a negative 1. Now, again, I have my a value as negative, so I need to multiply everything by negative 1, so I get positive 3x minus y equals positive 1, and that is my answer. All right, now let's do the kind of the challenging one. And that one is this, y minus 1 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 5. So it's not unusual to have a fraction for your slope. And so what we need to do here first is we need to take this, get this fraction out of here. So what we need to do is we need to multiply both sides by 3 so that we don't have a fraction here anymore. And this is what I mean here. So if I've got 2/3 times 3 over 1, which is 3, then I end up with 2, so I'm trying to get this denominator to be 1 over here. So 3 times 2, or negative 2, is negative 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Right? Another way you could do this is just cross those guys out, because that becomes 1, and then you've got negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. Either way, I get rid of my denominator. I change it to 1 here. So now I'm all set. So I need to multiply this by 3, and I need to multiply this side by 3. Okay, so, and then we can get that 3 out of there. So when I multiply this by 3, I end up with 3 times y minus 1 equals, if I multiply this mess by 3, then I can do what I just did up here. I ended up with just negative 2 times x minus 5. So now I'm going to distribute these guys. 3 times y is 3y minus 3 times 1, which is 1. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 5 is positive 10. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So now I have 2x plus 3y minus 3 equals 10. Now I just need to get this 3 out of here, add 3 to both sides, and I have 2x plus 3y equals 13. So this is a challenge because you got to get this 3 out of the denominator to just be 1. So you need to multiply by that same number. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as these other two. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a little bit left to do. That's writing this in standard form, which is a pain in the butt because we don't use standard form that much anyways, but sometimes you do, especially on a test, right? Now here's point slope form to slope intercept form. Now this one is kind of the easiest one. So remember, slope intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So that's the form we're trying to get these equations into. So let's start with an example here. Y plus 3 equals 3 halves times x plus 1. Okay, we don't need to multiply anything by 2. We don't need to do that because we're trying to get the slope intercept form. We don't really care if there's a fraction. So, but what we do need to do first is distribute this 3 halves. What we're trying to do is get this y by itself on the left, just like in this equation here. Y and then whatever it is, the slope, times x plus whatever's left over, which is my y-intercept. So let's distribute that 3 halves. So 3 over 2 times x is 3 over 2x. 3 over 2 times 1 is 3 over 2. All right, let's subtract 3 from both sides. I've got y equals 3 over 2x. Now we've got to figure out what is this, 3 over 2 minus 3. Well, we can find a common denominator if we want, and then we can go about it that way. We could also just think that 3 over 2 is 1 and a half. And so 1 and a half minus 3 is negative 1 and a half. So it's just negative 1 and a half. If you want to find a common denominator, then you go 3 over 2 minus, so we need 2 to be in the denominator, so we multiply both the top and the bottom both by 2, and we end up with 6 over 2. 3 over 2 minus 6 over 2 is negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1 and a half. That's kind of an ugly one to start with, but there it is. All right. Here's a u-try. But notice, look, all I did from changing this to point slope to slope intercept form is I distributed the slope, boop, 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 and then I subtracted or added whatever the number was over here, and that's it. I'm all done. So let's have you do one. Y minus 2 equals 1 half times x plus 4. So I'll talk you through it real quick before you get started. Distribute the 1 half, and then add 2 to both sides, and you're all done. Okay? Go. All right, let's see how you did. Distribute the 1 half. Y minus 2 equals 1 half x plus 1 half of 4 is 2, or 1 half times 4 over 1 equals 4 over 2, because I just multiply straight across, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. Add 2 to both sides, so y can be by itself, like he likes. He likes to be alone. Y equals 1 half x plus 2 plus 2 is 4. There is my answer. All right, let's do one more u-try. And then that'll be the end of our notes for this section. Y plus 3 again equals 1/3 x plus 6. Okay, go ahead and pause, get this one done, and then we'll look at it together. Go. Okay. I'm going to distribute this 1/3 first. Y plus 3 equals 1/3 x plus 1/3 of 6 is 2. Oops, I didn't write the x down. That's important. Don't forget that x. 1/3 of x is 2. Or I can say 1/3 times 6 over 1. I multiply straight across. I get 6 over 3, which is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Subtract 3 from each side. Y equals 1/3 x. 2 minus 3 is -1. And I have done this, what they have asked me to do. Point slope to slope intercept. And that is the end of 4-3.